this was born some time back, the idea of creating a digital platform and an application and the use of social media to tackle what is the motto of these webinars: beyond confusion and inspiring actions. This resumes what the citizens platform wants to be, that also is addressed mainly to citizens. Well, we are all citizens, including those in the private sector and institutions, etc., etc. But this idea coming from the strictly information and communication area, we're all professionals on that, and this is not collateral to any other initiative. It's in itself an independent information and communication initiative on climate change and sustainability. Now, why? Because it was evident that through this information and fake news, we citizens were getting very, very much confused. We started discussing about this back to 2017. Then major things happened, and climate change is a successful communication endeavor in terms of creating more and more awareness. Another question started coming up then, but what can I do? This is the other question. I go for a coffee to the bar and I try to talk, no? And what do you think about this? Yes, of course, I have no doubt, but what can I do? So we structure this digital platform in two main sectors, let's say. The one that has to do with beyond confusion and trying to build a sort of a one-stop shop where, through proper positioning and communication, anyone can go knowing that you will get what you need to get and that this is going to be accurate and that will be no doubt. Accuracy goes to the point that if something seems probable but is doubtful, we have to say it. Now, the only way to be extremely accurate has to do with the sources of information. The sources of information in our case are scientists, experts, building an active interaction with them as sources of information and also suggesting timely issues to be raised, for instance. No? We already have the initial and very active partnership with the Tyndall Centre for Climate Research in the UK that exists since the last 20 years. And we are building more with other scientific centers. And building a network, because today we have a lot of organizations delivering information. So we don't compete. We don't need to compete. I mean, as communication and information, this initiative is unique. So we want to be absolutely inclusive. If there's something called Nature, I mean, very well known, prestigious, I mean, as a medium, well, we build a relation with nature and we will simply include a link that leads to nature on things that we don't need to do. That's the same, that's an example, no? Sort of clearinghouse when we all come together and we empower each other, but we build a place where a regular citizen can go and knowing that we'll find there what he's looking for, without going into what's become an endless universe, which is the internet. I mean, the point of departure for all this was that, well, you cannot pretend that a normal, regular citizen, even myself, would start navigating, exploring the internet to see who says the truth, who's not saying the truth, where should I go, whether, well, it's not possible. So that's one main part, beyond confusion, which includes contributing to a debate, because we have to acknowledge that changing paradigm is not particularly simple, no, and it's not going to be resolved, and it's not our role to start pointing, no, naming who's guilty, who's not guilty, because that's already being done in a good way. We don't need to go on that. We need, and we want, to show a way forward. Another paradigms which require debate, going in depth. Okay, we say we have to finish with fossil energy, let's say. Well, how do you do it? And we explore. The other big branch is answering to what can I do? Which is the inspiring actions component. Well, that's about telling stories, which is what the journalistic soul of this can make. There are thousands and thousands of people in the world testing new ways of producing, new ways of consuming, new ways of living together. And we have different cultural backgrounds, no? Which is a major thing. I mean, the situation today is that one part of the world is mainly responsible for the emissions and for destroying the entire world, and another part of the world suffer the consequences and try to accommodate, or is seeing how to accommodate. Within this, there's a lot of very creative people, or people that don't give up, and this becomes our heroes. So we have to tell about our heroes. We have to tell stories, not only the result of their personal story. We do care about the personal story. Why did you decide to produce in a different way, and that way shows to be successful? Why did you go into the circular economy together with others? What difficulties you had to face, and why is it working? Well, this on daily basis, because nobody today is telling us about this. For several reasons. I mean, the regular media enterprises could not dedicate to this. I mean, they face endless financial problems. They have a market to satisfy, etc., etc. So, but we can do it, and we will do it on daily basis. This will be processed in different ways, the story in itself, but then also a kind of technical file that explains in detail each initiative. This, in a way, is what we started doing. And I say we, because I was honored to work on that as an outsider with the UNESCO's Planet Society program, you see. There was not climate change or sustainability on the top as the wording, let's say, but the principle was that. Looking for new ways of living, new ways of doing things. And we did a heavy work, really, collecting information on initiatives worldwide. Once I asked to the one who this was framed within the International Decade for the Culture of Peace and Non-Violence, no? And I asked, how do you do with this? I mean, there are wars everywhere. Well, but we are identifying worldwide people working in the sense of life and putting them together.